Galactic Standard Date. Year 11356. Day 93. Sol Standard Date. 4 for the 5th. 3267. Catherine woke up in the middle of her pile of floofs and sat up. When she sat up straight, she woke up everyone that had still been asleep, causing moans and groans from all manner of creatures. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you all. Thanks for sleeping with me, though. I really appreciate you guys sleeping with me. You all are so warm and comfy," she said, as she booped Resler's snoot. Resler blinked a couple of times in confusion. "Why did you poke my nose, Catherine? Was there something on it?" And Catherine laughed. "Yeah, silly, your adorable little face was. Let's get going, though. I can see my crew looking at me from the other side of the room, so we probably have a shuttle that can heal you all." Resler and several others looked at her with an even more confused expression. Balev tapped Catherine's arm with his staff. "What do you mean by heal? Surely you do not believe we are sick or injured?" Catherine cocked her head at him and put her finger to her lip. "Well, you guys want to be young again, don't you?" Most of the room collectively gasped, and Tama stepped out in front of everyone. "Do not worry. I have taken the procedure myself. You will feel nothing, and it only lasts but a scant few seconds. I am living proof that this technology will work on all species," he said, as he struck a pose. The group clamoured around Catherine, bombarding her with questions that got lost in the tidal wave of voices. Eventually, Catherine just stood up and started walking to the door that Alan and Ashley were standing next to. "Hey, guys, I want to young these little fellas up, so where's the ship?" she said, while sticking her hand to her forehead and looking around exaggeratedly. Ashley sighed and grabbed Alan's arm as she walked back through the doors. Catherine complained that she had to crouch, but she was quickly silenced by Ashley, who just pointed at her and then mimed a zipping motion on her lips. They were silent the rest of the way to the ship. Once they exited the building and the small shuttle that had brought the gang was in sight, Catherine happily sprinted out to it and squealed, "Ooh, I'm going to get to give these little guys back their youth. Then we can play games all day and they will love me," she said, as she opened the shuttle and performed a flourishing bow, a signal to the group that they could come aboard. Ashley and Alan just shook their heads as a small red fox joined them. "You guys are really about to let Catherine do literally whatever she wants, huh? Give up on trying to hold her back on anything involving small animals?" Ashley looked down at her Rui. "Don't even start with me, girl. You jumped in this shuttle knowing damn well that your very appearance is going to cause some hefty waves. We are both just doing what we want. What I want is to not have to deal with several days with puppy eyes and 'come on, please, please,' before I inevitably relent, and then I have to hear her little tee-hee." Haruhi laughed that high-pitched fox laugh that snagged the attention of another individual in the crowd, who turned around and sprinted over as fast as he could. He stood there staring at Haruhi with an expression somewhere in between curiosity and awe. You are one of the Terran Kintagio. My oh my, you are quite a specimen. I would love to get to know you better. Your voice was so beautiful, I almost cried upon hearing it. Your laugh was amazing. It just felt so right. So I ask you, what is the name of such a beautiful and elegant creature, such as yourself?" Haruhi smiled and handed him a small earpiece. Zhao put it in his ear and waited. Her voice came not from her lips, but instead through the speaker within his ear. "My name is Haruhi. I apologize that you have to use this piece of equipment to hear me. My kind is not capable of verbal communication that you would understand. I appreciate your compliments. I keep my coat shiny and silky for Catherine mostly, but it's nice to be noticed outside of her mother's gaze. What is your name?" Zhao brought his tail up to his face, and then spun, letting his arms splay out as he fell into a bow. "My name is Sal. Most call me by some sort of title, be it Esteemed Master Sal or Warrior Philosopher Sal, but you may call me Sal. I would have it no other way," he said, as he picked up Haruhi's paw and kissed it. Haruhi looked to the side and covered her face with her tail. "My, a gentleman are you? Quite bold for a fennec." Zhao smiled wide and stood back up to his full height of 2 foot 3 inches. "I also couldn't help noticing that you called Catherine your mother. I was unaware that the Terrans could interbreed with other species. That is certainly something to look into," he said, while cupping his chin. Haruhi chuckled. "No, silly, she is my adoptive mother. Before we all had the same rights as the humans, we would get adopted by humans as pets, but we were typically treated just as well, if not better, than their own children. Keep in mind that most species took quite a long time to even be considered sentient. The first animal that was considered sentient was a 210-year-old Doberman that had been mostly converted to a cyborg. He had the same level of intelligence as the average 30-year-old Terran. The Terrans discovered that we had the capabilities, given time. So they increased our intelligence and made us immortal. She adopted me as a true daughter, not as a pet. We've been together for 1,000 years, starting next month." Sal was wide-eyed at Aruhi, as she dropped bomb after bomb onto his mind. The Terrans were treating non-sentients as they would their own young? These Terran creatures with our genetics were all at one point short-lived and stupid? The Terrans were literally able to immortalize and uplift every species on their planet? Oh my goddess. That sounds exactly like the scriptures left from the Toractel. So Basilisk wasn't lying. They truly are the children of the Toractel. We worship their ancestors.